Lately, I've been intrigued by an imagery of 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The idea of incarnations of tragic events. And when I'm intrigued by something, I want to create it in The Sims 4. So we're starting a small series of videos, in this one with famine. If you regular viewer on this channel, you can probably guess why I'm starting with the famine. For a little bit of context, just in case this is first video of mine that you've seen. On this channel I do Ultimate Decades Challenge Let's Play. And in the next episode of which we're going to play through the first event in Ultimate Decades, the Great Famine. And I think exactly that led me to even thinking about 4 horsemen. And it's also the reason why I'm starting with the famine, which is technically the 3rd horseman. I wanted to create him in the cast and using some sort of intro to my future video. And because I'm going to make this character anyway, I decided to make a video out of it. He's not going to be a character to interact with, he's going to be just a concept, a myth, just like 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are. I went into creating this sim kind of without a plan, as I always do. The only thing that I know I want is to give him some sort of scary, disgusting teeth, which is the things that I didn't really do. I was searching for custom content of some sort of monster teeth, and the ones that I really liked did not work. When I was putting that file in my mods folder, game was just not starting. So I settled for kind of more subtle scary teeth. They only visible when the sim is talking or mouse is opened in some way. You will see them a little bit later. 4 horsemen of the apocalypse have colors associated with them, and for famine is black. I did not dress him entirely in black, but I did dress him in quite a dark colors, like almost black. The main reason why I didn't use black because it does not look good in The Sims 4, it all just blends in. Interesting enough, Death is riding a pale horse. I think I would interpret it that as grey or like colorless. If I could, I would do a transparent for that, like glass looking. And also Death will be a really interesting one to make because we have a Grim Reaper. Do I make my version of Death? Do I just don't touch the Death and use a Grim Reaper because it's recognizable for Sims 4? I did not want to give him human colored skin, so I gave him gray skin. And I started playing with various different accessories, makeup and skin details that I had. As I said before, I did not had a plan for it. So I was just trying on different things and just seeing what sticks, what I like. I put a fur piece on him, like a fur color, and I really like the look of it. I like the asymmetry of it. So this piece is sticking through the whole video. It is a really weird order of doing things. I put his fur color on him while he's still naked, no skin details, no hair, no nothing. Just naked man in a fur color. I played with the different skin details, some of them I will leave for a while and then change it later. I also did not know how human I want him to look. I think I got it to the point where it's still human but scary. I'm not really good at making unique faces. I think it's just a lack of practice. I didn't really create that many Sims. I mostly just play the game. I don't spend that much time in CAS. And I think things like building good in the Sims and creating interesting looking Sims, it's just practice. I tried something, I tried to make him interesting, I tried to make him unique. This dark eye makeup comes from the tattoo that also gives him interesting shape of his cheekbones. And I like the shape of cheekbones that it gives him, but I do not like this dark eye makeup. I don't like the shape of it, and I will remove it later. I tried some hairs on him, none of them looked right at the point, so for a while I thought that I might leave him bald. You often see 4 horsemen of the apocalypse being drawn just as skeletons. I have one skeleton full body outfit in my game, but I don't know if I can even accessorize it, if anything would layer on top of that skeleton. And also you have skeletons from Jungle Adventure and you have Brunhilde, but I don't think that any of those options are customizable enough to make something interesting out of it. I gave my sim vampire nose, very cool nose preset, very unique. Because of the bald head and that nose, he kind of started to remind me of Lord Voldemort, which I think I got rid of that look later. I think I did. And after skin details, I started picking up his clothing. It's enough of wearing nothing but fur on his neck. I did some CC shopping right before this video. Mainly I was looking for teeth, but I also downloaded a lot of different stuff, clothing, skin details, some interesting looking accessories like horns. And I downloaded a lot of clothing from one creator. I leave their name on the screen and also probably leave a link to their stuff in the description to this video because I really like them and I think a lot of their stuff has potential to be used in the context of some abstract, barely human entities. Like most of the stuff that I got are corsets and skirts, but there is something dark and spooky about them. I really like them. I did end up giving him a skirt from different creator. In the process of dressing the sim, I didn't even thought that I immediately went for skirts. Didn't even look at pants. Maybe I was kind of thinking about something like a cloak or a cape, this kind of shape, not really your traditional pants. Also, just because I'm referring to this character as him, it does not really make him a man in 14th century. I don't think you can really date or gender a horseman of the apocalypse. That's why none of them will be dressed in 14th century fashion, and I don't really think there is any rules going to be applied to the way I dress them except the vibe. This skirt comes with the chains for the top half of the body, but I did not want naked feminine, so I was looking through the different clothes that I have and corsets. Really like the corset with snakes on it, but in the moment I thought that I may leave it for pestilence, and now I don't think that snakes have anything to do with pestilence. If anything, snake is a symbol of pharmaceuticals, pharmacy, medicine in general. I think you have like a cup and a snake. Anyways, it's a gorgeous corset. I think it's called Ursula corset. But I chose a different one for feminine. For some reason, it does not work on his frame, despite the fact that it is for masculine frame. This CC creator makes their clothing for masculine and feminine frames, but for some reason it breaks on this character. I decided to give him gloves, and gloves are in white, which is maybe kind of striking against the rest of the really dark color scheme, but I really like the contrast it gives. I tried making them black or just some dark color. It does not look half as good as with white. White is supposed to be pestilence color. I did read a little bit about the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse because I knew nothing about them before deciding to create them in The Sims 4. I think my first introduction to the concept of them was literally watching Good Omens. It's that bad, where they also changed pestilence for pollution to fit with modern world. And also upon reading about the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, I learned that there is different interpretations of them, and some interpretations don't have pestilence, and instead of pestilence there is conquest, which may make a little bit more sense in white. But I decided to go for pestilence because, as I said in the beginning, I will align them with the events in Ultimate Decades, and we're going to have plague multiple times. I will use the Simpsons introductions to the events. That's my plan for now. I think meantime on the screen I fully dressed this character and tried to give him hair. I was trying gray hair on him, but ended up going for white to kind of match white gloves. As I said earlier, I really like the contrast of it. So we have feminine. I do like how this sim looks a lot, but I don't know if it gives feminine or if he just looks like a vampire. Vampires are often associated with hunger, so maybe it fits. Because I couldn't give him teeth that visible with mouth closed, I gave him this face teeth, horn. What are they? They come from the site of CC for making an Arachne character. As I said, I do like this character a lot, but I'm unsure if he gives off feminine. Maybe with scales in hand on the horse, it will be more obvious. So I decided to take you through my process of making a screenshot in-game with shaders and all the decorations. And also because I'm showing you him before I will use him in the episode of Ultimate Decades, you can give me your feedback maybe on how I can improve him in terms of making him more personification of hunger or famine. I just loaded into game and in his cold weather outfit and without his cool outfit that I gave him, he just looks like a Grandpa. Okay, Grandpa, let's put you in your fancy clothes. We can try to make a screenshot of him on the throne or just sitting down. Definitely with the horse. I do not have horse ranch, so we're using a deck of horses. I downloaded a bunch of them. They're in different poses and they have like a separate saddle that you can add. And we also need scales. Also asking for help. I for some reason did not found a scale that an accessory in CAS that character can hold with poses for it. Like, sometimes you have pose bags where Sim is holding something like a candlestick, a bouquet of flowers, a coffee cup, and you will have that object in CAS as an accessory. So when you pose your character, that object is exactly where it needs to be. I, for some reason, thought that it would be really easy to find scales made like that. I did not found. Maybe I was searching with wrong words. So I just found object of scales for buy mod and decided to very tediously place it with a tool mod. First picture that I decided to take of Famine the Horseman was on a throne of hay. I thought it would be very fitting. And then I realized that I did not have a tool mod, so I went to download that. I had to delete my tool mod after last update. That was incredibly tedious process to place him on that haystack, but nowhere near as tedious as trying to get scales in his hand. It took me a embarrassingly long time, but we arrived there. Does this read as a famine now? The usual shaders that I would use for Ultimate Decades are kind of bright and a little bit pinky, so I was flipping through all my shaders that I have way too much of, trying to see what would look good. A bit ironic, the shaders that I like the most called Pumpkin Pie, was staying on the topic of food. I do really like this shot. I don't know about his hair. Maybe his hair makes him a little too pretty. The longer that I look at this character, the prettier he gets, and it's concerning. Like, I'm concerned about myself, but maybe it's just hair. I think if I make him bald, I will immediately stop liking him. Also, none of these poses that I'm trying are made for scales. I'm just choosing poses where a hand looks like it could hold something. I found this set of poses made for some magical effect, for wielding magic. It could look like he's holding scales in the air using some magic. He doesn't have to physically hold them with his fingers. I just plopped horse on the background and I think it works. And I also kind of like levitating scales. I also wanted to try poses on the horses that I downloaded. There are quite a few of them. It looks very funny without horse, I will admit. So I put saddle and deco horse underneath him, and again was fussing with tool mod to put scales in his hand. It doesn't look perfect, it's clipping into his hand, and also makes me think if scales even supposed to have a bottom stand if he's holding it in his hand. But this is how usually Famine depicted, sitting on the horse holding scales. There is also a bunch of other poses in this set, like this one with him covering his mouth being scared, and also this one with falling off the horse, which for some reason looks so funny to me. I don't know, I find it hilarious. But in this pose we can see his teeth finally. I love these poses. This one is made for a different horse. For this one that's standing up, it's going to take me a second. Maybe I should make horse have black eyes too, like fully black without the white part, because he looks so scary and dramatic and horse is just horse. It looks like he came from some different scary dimension or been summoned to bring the apocalypse and just picked up horse on his way from somebody's ranch. My original plan was to show you the full process of me making these screenshots, but it ended up being so much fussing with tool mods that I think it would be really boring, and I don't want to subject you to that. So what do you think about the Famine, third horseman of the apocalypse? Also, I'm very much open to your opinions and suggestions on this one. Maybe links to scales and poses with scales. This is a bit of an unusual video for me, to be honest. I did cast videos in the past, but I would usually try and do multiple of characters at once. Doing just one character seems like very little. But this is kind of my way to take on a journey between episodes of Decades Challenge. Usually I would get a random idea about something and try to attempt it. And now I have a random idea about just having a shot with the character of Famine in it. So I decided to make a video about creating him. I'm right now in period of when I have less time than usual in my life, but I don't want to disappear for a month while I'm slowly making Decades episode. Instead, I want to try and make the smaller videos like this one, while I'm also making the Decades episode, so I could post more regularly even in busier time in my life. As much as I enjoy making an hour-long Let's Plays, they do be taking long time to make. And I think in a way, I also use these videos as a way to just talk to you, just chat with you. So I will be trying to make maybe smaller but more frequent videos, as well as my 40 minutes, sometimes an hour long Let's Plays. Oh, and also, if you have recommendations to watch or read something about for Horsemen of the Apocalypse, something interesting, leave those in the comments too. I have 3 others to make. And also tell me what you think about death. Should I make my version of death, or should death just be Sims 4 Grim Reaper? I think I will stop talking. I got chatty at the end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, comment on it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye!